Hi, I'm John from Gentleman and Whiskey, and this is an episode of Shelf vs. Tater, where we answer the question, is rare whiskey really better than what's on the shelf? Okay, so kind of hiding behind this envelope is the answer. As you can see, it is sealed. We'll set that here. For the end, we've got 2 glasses of whiskey in Glencairns. One of these whiskeys is what we call a Tater, or a bottle that is very rare, very sought after. A lot of people think it's a Buffalo Trace thing. It is not simply a Buffalo Trace thing, at least that's not the origin of the word. It's just stuff that they call it tatered after, or highly sought after. And then we have a bottle that is pretty reasonably available at a decent price. So the real premise of this series is to see if what's rare is actually better than what's on the shelf. So I have 2 glasses here. I'm going to go left to right, and I'm going to see which one I like, and we'll find out. Shelf versus Tater. Here we go. The nose on this one is very rich. A little bit of chocolate, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of fruitiness, like maybe dark fruits like plums, maybe some cherries, maybe some apricot. Does kind of have a little bit of a smell like it could be pot stilled. I get usually like orange marmalade, copper, maybe some apricot, something like that. It is nice and dark in color. That is sometimes an indicator, sometimes not. Depends on what the whiskey is. That whiff gave me a little bit of nuttiness. I like to call it wet nuts. It's those nuts covered in caramel. Smucker's makes them, I think. It's Smucker's. It's a note that I've gotten off of Jack Daniel's 10 before. The nose on this one keeps changing. When I first smelled it, it smelled very rich, and it's getting different. It's getting a little bit more of like a grassy, nutty, earthy vibe. There's still some like apricots or something like that on it. That's enough nosing. Let's give it a taste. Okay, so there's definitely a little bit of grassiness. It's for sure nutty. I'm just going to come out and say it. The palate experience on this is not nearly as good as the nose. It started very rich, very vibrant, and it went downhill from there. This started very weird. Grassy, earthy, nutty, and really sweet. Not a whole lot of a finish. It's thin. Like, it doesn't have a very, very thick consistency. Generally, that's what we like around here. We like a thick consistency. We like something that gives you a really good experience. And this is just kind of thin and a little weird. So I am going to, did I even bring my water bottle up here? I did. Okay, cool. I'm going to rinse with a little water, and then I'm going to try sample 2. I left a little bit in here so I can compare and contrast at the end. Overall first impressions of glass 1, not ideal. That's the Tater. They're in some big trouble. But we got to do number 2, and then we'll give our thoughts. So cheers. It is overall more rich. It's got a lot of oak to it. Got some vanilla, some caramel, a little bit of marshmallow. Faint bit nutty. The nose is definitely, it's staying consistent and it's staying pretty decent. It's definitely dark in color. Sometimes I do this with the chocolate Glens. This time it didn't seem that big of a difference. It is a little bit of a color difference, I think. That one was a little lighter than this one. That doesn't necessarily mean anything though. A little bit more fruity than the other one. Like the other one had maybe some apricot. This one's got some like apples, maybe cherry a little bit. What we like to call bright fruits around here. Let's give it a taste. See what it tastes like. The initial on that one is just very sweet. It's not a whole lot of anything on the first taste. It's going for another sip. There's some oak. There's a little bit of cinnamon. Some cherry on the back end. The finish is definitely more than the previous one, and the consistency is higher. Like, it's definitely a little bit thicker, a little bit better mouthfeel. I know people hate that word. I kind of hate that word too. When we say mouthfeel, we mean consistency, and it's got a good consistency to it. Definitely some vanilla, some cinnamon on the back end. Like, it's a little heat, but it doesn't taste like it's high proof, probably under 100, if I had to guess. The flavor is, I think, getting better with more sips. The finish is definitely oak, vanilla, and nuts. Not very fruity. Definitely lingering oak. I'm going to take a little bit of a cleanse, see if the first glass got any better. It's still weird. Still grassy. Still a little nutty. It definitely tastes lower proof. Maybe lower price too. As far as which one I'm going to pick, I think I enjoyed glass 2 more. I think 2 is the Tater or the rare bottle. I think number 1 is the shelf bottle. I think it's under 100 proof. I don't know that I would buy either of these. And I know that I'm saying that before the reveal, so I'm kind of going out on a limb here. But I don't know that either of these are necessarily up my wheelhouse. I might be eating crow here in 15 seconds. I'm not really sure. Now that I've gone out on that limb, let's find out what it is. Okay, so on the left, we have Bardstown Origin Series, the Weeded. And on the right, we have Old Fitzgerald 10 from spring of 2023. So a little bit of a surprising result. The Old Fitz is one that I didn't necessarily want to enter the channel this way, but it is a decent bottle. I just don't think it's necessarily worth its price. Bardstown Origin Series is, I think, a solid offering. I know what I said that I don't think I would buy another one. The thing is, bottle is almost a year old. The next set, I think, of Origin Series will be probably 7 years, not 6 years. At the very least, it'll be a different batch with possibly some older stock in it. So I am hopeful for the future of this. Old Fitz, it's a 10-year product, and it's $150. And I do not think it is $100 better than this Bardstown Origin Series. I just think for being a legacy distillery, this is not a release that I am necessarily going to be looking for again at the price, because it's just not where I want it to be. It's just not what I'm looking for in whiskey. It's not a deeply flavorful, great experience, especially at 100 proof. You want something that drinks at the very least with a depth of flavor above its proof, and this just doesn't do it. So in this battle of shelf versus Tater, the Tater wins, but does it really? Is it really worth $150? I'm honestly not sure. We will have a full review on just the Old Fitz at some point, but for now, it is the king of shelf versus Tater. If you like this content, check out our other videos. Please like and comment on this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and we hope you'll join us in drinking like a gentleman. Cheers.